Hi everybody and welcome back to the tasting room. We are sampling today a whiskey known as Nikka from the barrel. So bottled at 51.4% alcohol or 102.8 proof. This is a Japanese whiskey here. And if you've never had a Japanese whiskey before, I recommend you try it. They're kind of made in the Scotch style with malted barley. And obviously they wouldn't be able to call them Scotch because they're not made in Scotland. But the flavor profiles tend to be kind of similar. The feel is similar to a Scotch whiskey. And really, I mean, they tend to be a little bit more floral, maybe even a little bit softer, some of them. So if you're newer to Scotch whiskey, you know, maybe jump over, try a Japanese whiskey, or even if you're an expert Scotch drinker and you've been doing it for a long time, because a lot of these Japanese whiskeys have really complex flavor profiles. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and dive right into this Nikka from the barrel here. You know, it's important every time. Anytime you're tasting a whiskey, especially for the first time, and you go to nose it, you know, make sure it's at room temperature, even a little bit warm. You see, I'm kind of warming it in my hands here, and it's going to allow some of the aromas, some of the flavors to break free, so you can really get the full experience. That's why I'm really not a fan of when people drink whiskey over ice. I mean, if that's the way you like to drink it, then you do you. That's fine. Personally, for me, I'm not really a fan because as it cools down the whiskey, it traps those flavors, those aromas, and to me, you don't get as much out of it. So this one here, right on the nose here, I'm getting it's floral. It's a little bit sweet. I'm getting some lighter fruit notes in this. Got some cherries, some honeyed apricot. Whew. Just a beautiful medley of fruit and heather. Now in the background here we've got a light peat smoke. It just kind of adds another dimension here to the nose. Really emphasizes kind of a wood smoke. And another nice thing about this nose here, the more it breathes, the more you sit with it. It kind of changes. It's giving me more and more. You know, for instance, now I'm getting dates. I'm getting some cocoa. This is a really excellent whiskey here. I could nose this for a good long time. But you've waited long enough. Okay, we've got some chewy dried fruits here on the palate. The dates are more apparent, as well as a distinct nuttiness. The peat smoke is still there, but it's definitely taking a back seat to some of these other flavors here. As we move a little bit closer to the finish here, we've got a wave of spice. We've got nutmeg and clove. Almost somewhat to the point where it's starting to overpower some of the more delicate flavors. But it's bold. It's good. You know, and it's a little bit hot. This alcohol content is starting to come through. Like I said, this is 102.8 proof. So it is somewhat apparent, but I don't know. To me, that really doesn't take anything away from it. It's very flavorful. It's bold. It's spicy, but you still have some of those sweeter fruit notes. Yeah, those spices hang around right through to that very, very long finish. Cinnamon and that honeyed apricot flavor. And just a slight remembrance of wood smoke as it kind of fades. Wow. Well, I must say right off the bat, this Nikka from the barrel was excellent, excellent whiskey. Let's dive into the rating scale here. On the nose, all kinds of things going on the nose, and it worked really, really well. Right up front, we had this beautiful floral fruit medley here. We had cherries and apricot, along with some nice floral heather. There was that light smokiness, just a hint of peat in there. We ended up getting some more dried fruits, some dates, a little bit of cocoa even. Very, very nice. Probably one of my favorite noses on a whiskey here. I'm going to go ahead and give the nose for this one 24.5 points. On the palate, very, very nice. Started out with some more dried fruit, definitely a little bit more dates in there. I'm sure there's a sherry influence in this wine. I haven't researched in this whiskey here. I haven't researched what kind of casks they've used, but almost positive there's some sherry going on in there. Anyway, I digress. A little bit of nuttiness. And then you were hit with that barrage of spices, definitely some nutmeg, some clove in there, and that kind of dominated the palate from there on out. I'm going to go ahead and give the taste for this one 22.5 points. On the finish, nice and long, good drawn out finish, notes of cinnamon, some more of that honeyed fruit, and just a little bit of that background wood smoke note there. I'm going to go ahead and give the finish for this one 22 points. And then the overall balance I'm going to put at 23. This had a lot of great flavors. I think they played off one another very, very well. You had a lot of spice, a lot of sweet. There was just a little bit of wood smoke, or that peat smoke that was layered underneath. I thought it all came together really, really nicely. So 23 for the balance, if I hadn't said that already. Okay, and that's going to leave us with an overall score for this Nikka from the barrel at 92 points. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hey, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or leave a comment to me in the comment section down below. And then, of course, if you're not already a member of my channel, go ahead and hit that button and subscribe. And then after you do, make sure you ding that little bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you get notifications of new videos that come out. New videos come out on the weekends, and we don't want you to miss one. We like you. We want you to come back. So go ahead and do that for me. And I will see you again next week, right here on The Tasting Room.